Did you know that behind the flashing headlines, Jagaur Wright drops a bombshell revelation, one that might just rewrite everything we thought we knew about Angie Stone's mysterious fate and Diddy's dangerous overstep?
Cancer, she is terrible. She will try to kill every great piece of relevant talent in Dallas. She will single-handedly destroy your legacy for what's really here. And the saddest part about it is the very people that made her everything that she is, she's done everything that she can do to erase them. I shouldn't have to remind people who Sean Martin is. I shouldn't have to remind people who Daniel Jones was. I shouldn't have to remind people who a lot of people are from here. I wasn't even born and raised here. Tell me something, why was I the one to post Lucky Peterson, his last performance at Louie over there in Deep Ellum? Why wasn't Erica there? Why doesn't she ever show up to any of the old blues shows that they had over at Fair Park, just to be there to welcome the old timers in and say, oh my God, I grew up on your music? No, she's always too good. No, she only wants to bring what everybody is now saying is the clone version of Dave Chappelle so people can come pet him once a year at her celebrity petting zoo party, the birthday party. I don't even know if that's the real Dave Chappelle. She might have picked up the fake one. I don't know. Cheap as that bitch is me, I don't think she would have paid him, and he don't go nowhere for free.
A woman, once silenced and ostracized, now steps into the limelight with explosive claims that not only challenge the official narrative of Angie Stone's tragic death, but also suggest that Diddy may have pushed the envelope too far. What's the truth behind these revelations? And could powerful forces be at work to bury a story that has haunted the music industry for decades? Stay with us as we unravel a narrative filled with twists, controversy, and startling inside information.
What really does make sense is that Diddy has had a long career of using pussy to trap niggas into making them do what he wants to do or using them to move them out the way. How is Faith Evans any different than Lauren London? How? No difference at all. Struggling artists trying to make their way up, not getting the break that they needed. All of a sudden they stand next to the right guy, and then now you know that guy is dead and they're okay for life. Right. You know how many people in the business that happens to? Let's look at Khalees. What makes her any different than Lauren London or Faith? I got a better one for you. Sure. Camille Cosby. Do you know what? You know she's part white.
Yeah.
She's a Rothschild. The Luciferian motherfuckers that co-own YouTube, that are friends with the monster, Leora Cohen, that mentored and backs Jay-Z. Camille is a Rothschild.
So I will get back on my page tomorrow, not on a Sunday, but tomorrow, and everybody know some of my secrets that I have endured over the years. Nothing to hurt anyone else. With that being said, I would advise you not to log in 30 minutes for no mess, because that's something they pull together. Just like they told y'all I was a dead girl and I'm very much alive. It's because they're looking for numbers and they want you to pay for that information. Why you got to pay for it and I'm giving it to you? For all of you that want to hear some juicy stuff, give me a thumbs up. At hand is P. Diddy. I'll take you all the way back to the early 2000s when P. Diddy had just become an intern at Uptown Records, which was housed in MCA Music. which was where I just happened to have a publishing deal as an MCA songwriter. Woo! Can we get into it, guys? Unfortunately, what I have to say in revealing what I witnessed in that time period was a very young Sean Puffy Combs that had really been busting his chops.
Our investigation begins with Jagaur Wright, a bold, unfiltered voice determined to expose the hidden layers of Angie Stone's death report. According to her, something has never sat right with the official account. "I don't know if anything else has come out, but we ain't going to waste no more time," she declares, setting the stage for what might be the most explosive celebrity exposé in recent memory. With every word, she challenges us to read between the lines of a report that may have been manipulated by powerful entities.
You know what else is also true? I know he was drunk out of his mind and high out of his mind when they sent that there. He had no idea what he was doing. Everyone that knows him knows he gets blackout drunk. He wouldn't have known whether or not that girl was 23. And guess what? This girl was used by more than one rapper. These niggas went and got this little big body to run around and a bunch of grown men lying about her age so that they could have something to set them up with. Now, what's really sad about it is Snoop Dogg has access to that tape. The question is which member of Dog Pound is he holding that over? Because he's holding it over one of them for sure.
Damn.
I tell you one thing, if I ain't want nobody to dime me out for helping set up Tupac to get killed, having somebody on tape committing statutory rape, and there's nothing they can say about it or do about it. How does Common sit around and pretend like he's a prolific black rapper when all you've done is line up amazing black women to move them out of the way when they don't go the way the Illuminati wants them to go, like Lauryn Hill, like me, like Tiffany Haddish. That's 3 women who are real as fuck, who used to deal with you and their careers changed after you. Are you the lover of black women, or are you the silent assassin? Are you the new fucking Harry Belafonte? You fuck. And understand this, with his very small penis, I can see the motivation. But I also find it interesting, the blind items that have been popping out ever since I've been speaking about Mr. Lonnie Lynn, about the white married men that he likes to come on to at parties in Calabasas, asking, when are you gonna drop your wife off so we can hang out? Oh, white men. The other white meat. That. So not only are you not pro-black woman, you like white.
The story takes a dark turn when we learn that 3 months after being blackballed and ostracized, Angie Stone was found dead on her son's birthday, a day that should have been filled with celebration, instead marred by loss and confusion. There's a persistent claim in the underground narrative that Angie's death wasn't just a tragic accident. Instead, Jagaur posits that it was the calculated outcome of Angie daring to call out the very giants in the music industry, specifically Universal Music Group. Imagine discovering that after decades of musical triumph, Angie was not only fighting for her rightful earnings, but was also waging a silent war against a system that had, allegedly, stolen everything from her. Could her relentless pursuit of justice have made her a target?
R&B singer Angie Stone has died in a car crash. We're told she had just finished a concert in Mobile, Alabama Friday, was heading to Atlanta when the van she was riding in crashed. It's still not clear why they crashed or how the other people in the van are doing. The Grammy-nominated artist was known for songs like Wish I Didn't Miss You and No More Rain. She was also a member of the female hip-hop trio The Sequence. Angie Stone was 63 years old.
We live in a world that no longer has an Angie Stone in it. That to me is absolutely wild. While I've seen a bunch of videos online talking about conspiracy theories as far as her being the only person in a 9-passenger Sprinter van to die in a horrific accident, I'm more concerned about two things. The first thing is, in December, Angie Stone went on Instagram and started talking about how Universal Music Group had taken so much of her money that she is trying to get it back, and that she should not have to be doing anything other than enjoying a very well-deserved retirement. You're talking about somebody who's done hits with Moby, Snoop Dogg, written Love of My Life for Erykah Badu, basically made the entire Brown Sugar album for D'Angelo, and yet and still, she was talking in December in her kitchen about how she should have retired long ago, but they took her money. And the fact that she had to make a plea online about going after back royalties and payments that she should have had speaks to a much bigger problem. And that problem is Black artists do not have the infrastructure to stop predatory record deals from happening. That's why people like Sir Lucian Grange and Clive Davis and Leor Cohen and Jimmy Iovine and others, because there's a long laundry list of these types of people who continue to take advantage of the record industry as long as there's been a record industry.
Diving into the details, Jagaur recounts her own struggles. After being with Universal Music, I started to notice that something was off, she confesses. In her investigations, she uncovered evidence that pointed to widespread financial misconduct. Publishing rights, royalties, mechanicals. They were all allegedly hijacked by a corporation that has long been accused of exploiting its artists. Angie Stone's experience with MCA, later absorbed into Universal Music, took on a whole new meaning as she battled a severe blood infection and discovered irregularities in her financial records during her recovery. It was a revelation that should have allowed her to retire comfortably, yet instead, it opened the door to a relentless pursuit of justice that may have ultimately cost her life.
Can we make albums without a sexual assault involved? Can we make albums without peeping Toms looking in girls' green rooms and dressing rooms? Can we make albums without the girls in the videos being sodomized right before they were thrown on camera and told to smile, otherwise they were gonna get sodomized again, but sniff this shit and you'll be okay? Like, can we release projects without any of that kind of shit happening? Because right now, if you go back and look at everything that's being exposed, I think it would be fair to say that if albums had to be guaranteed cruelty-free, 75% of most music wouldn't even fucking come out.
I can see that.
Drill records wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
People talking about, I'm bringing down our people. Let's talk about drill music.
Yeah.
Let's make that make sense.
It will never.
You encourage criminal behavior. And then when that's not enough to keep the audiences excited, you encourage barbaric behavior. And then they die and then they're famous.
I actually was overseas. I had done some demos for a young man, Lenny Kravitz's cousin. He took the demos to the UK. Mervyn Lynn and Jed Dougherty wanted to sign him, but because of me, And he said, well, they want you to come over here. I said, I'm not interested in being no group with you. So I said, I'll sign a solo deal with Arista UK. Clive came over there and kicked the doors, and once he found out I was over here all this time, he's like, no. I got to have her over here. So pretty much Clive deboed the situation and brought me back to Arista.
Nice. Okay, we all know Clive Davis, legendary record man.
Right.
Arista Records have had some huge acts.
Yes.
They had another big vocalist on that, female vocalist on that record label, Miss Whitney Houston.
My girl.
I was about to ask you, what was your relationship like with Whitney?
Whitney's like, man, we were so cool because, she had a lot of respect for good songs and good singing. But there was something really down home about Whitney.
As the narrative unfolds, another layer of mystery emerges. A witness who claims to have been at the scene immediately after a catastrophic van crash. This witness described a chaotic tableau, one that aligns disturbingly well with the official two-collision narrative. But here's the kicker. The video of this witness, allegedly captured on TikTok, mysteriously vanished. Was it erased under threat? Or was it a simple case of digital misplacement? Jaguar leaves us with more questions than answers, urging us to consider the possibility that Angie's death might have been orchestrated to cover up deeper, more systemic corruption within the industry.
R&B soul singer Angie Stone just tragically passed away in her Sprinter van in Montgomery, Alabama. There were 9 other people in the van, and she was the only one that passed away.
Where are my royalties going? Because I'm not getting this. Come to find out, Universal Music has been receiving all my mechanicals, all my royalties.
This is absolutely tragic news. It's a devastating story, and a lot of people don't know that she has a son with R&B soul singer D'Angelo.
And I'm being 100. He would be a lot further ahead today. I'm not discrediting it. Everybody and their mama wish Angie and Stone and D'Angelo would get back together. I've heard it a million times.
Yes.
His pride as a man would not allow him because he doesn't want to share the credit. I should have been able to retire 20 years ago with the money I've made.
And for those of you that don't understand that Miss Angie Stone climbed out the van on her own. She was instructed to sit down on the side of the road by...
Okay, hold on. Okay, she climbed out the van by her own. So climbing, I'm assuming the van is tilted. The window, the door is facing upward. So, because you remember the van was flipped over allegedly 3 times. So she climbed out. So she was in okay physical to climb out. It wasn't like the ambulance and the firefighters came and had to really pull her out. She, according to him, she climbed out. And I'm assuming once she climbed out, then someone helped her continue to, finish getting out, or let's go.
A white person, and then she was ran over by a white person.
And then there's the elephant in the room, Diddy. The narrative shifts gears as we confront the uncomfortable reality of a music mogul who, despite his immense influence, might have overstepped in ways that went far beyond business. Sources reveal that Diddy's actions weren't confined solely to music and entrepreneurship. There are allegations that his conduct has, on several occasions, contributed to an environment where truth and accountability are subverted. The controversy deepens as we learn that while Angie Stone was battling corporate thievery, Diddy's name was being invoked in connection to pushing too far in the corridors of power. His involvement, whether directly or indirectly, casts a long shadow over the unfolding events, leaving us to wonder, did his actions contribute to an environment where silence was bought and justice was deferred?
Let's talk about the showdown in the courtroom over the bombshell video allegedly showing Sean Diddy Combs beating his then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura.
Now, Diddy's lawyers are arguing to exclude the footage from the rapper's upcoming sex trafficking trial. Legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer joins us now with more on what this could mean for the high-profile case. So good to have you. Okay, so they want this video left out. What's their argument for this?
So Mark Agnifilo, Sean Combs' attorney, is arguing that, you probably hear this phrase, this is not a true and accurate representation of what the video depicts. He's saying a number of arguments that the CNN had taken this video and sped it up. They kind of chopped it up into this montage, and it's not accurate. He's also making the allegation that the original video no longer exists. And so because this isn't accurate, the jury shouldn't see it. And according to Diddy's attorneys, because the original doesn't exist or it's been tampered with, no video such as this should be presented to the jury.
So what does CNN say about these claims?
So CNN has come out and said, we did not alter it. We did not change anything. And in fact, they're saying that they do have the original as well. So on multiple levels, Sean Combs' argument kind of falls flat, because if it is sped up, and I think there is some degree of it's being sped up, if the original still exists, that can still be used as evidence against Sean Combs, not necessarily to the allegations of trafficking, RICO conspiracy, or the transportation purpose of but to show that this is a force that it was used to keep victim number one, who we believe to be Cassie in this video, under his control for the purpose of trafficking and this RICO conspiracy.
Combs has been in jail since September, awaiting trial on charges of sex trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy, and fraud. And today, we appear to be hearing directly from Combs in a leaked jailhouse phone call with his longtime friend, Kanye West.
It's wicked, 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 so you be careful. I need you out there.
I hear you, yes sir.
What sounds like Combs appearing to reference jail life during the phone call with Kanye, which was obtained by the Shade Room. In the call, Combs encourages Kanye to get back to his music and thanks him for reaching out to his kids.
I'm gonna beat this and get next to you like 59 more days before trial, so.
Combs' trial begins May 5th, so Combs' 59 days to trial comment could mean the call occurred on or around March 9th. We reached out to Combs and Kanye about their conversation, but have not heard back.
I love you so much, man. It's like you raised me.
It seems Kanye's new nearly 5-minute song, Lonely Roads Still Go to Sunshine, begins with excerpts from that phone call. The song, released on X, also appears to feature Combs' son King and Kanye's 11-year-old daughter North, who does some rapping. However, Kanye appeared to delete the song from his X account one day after posting it, amidst reports North's mother, Kim Kardashian, was trying to block its release. Kanye then shared what looked like screenshots of his combative text message exchange with Kim. Kanye texting, "I'm never speaking with you again," as Kim explains how she had trademarked North's name. "I asked you at the time if I can trademark her name. You said yes. When she's 18, it goes to her, so stop." Appearing to disapprove, Kanye responds in part, "Amend it or I'm going to war." And neither of us will recover from the public fallout.
The intrigue intensifies when we consider the voices of other influential figures in the industry. Tyler Perry, in a sermon filled with passion, argued that Black artists deserve to be paid what they are worth, hinting that systemic exploitation goes far beyond one individual case. And then there's Monique, whose blunt commentary, "Sir, you really need to look in the mirror," resonates as a searing indictment of the double standards prevalent in the industry.
Being interviewed by this woman once, and she was telling me, she's like, "Tyler, I just want to tell you, I can always tell when they're going to go left, because the interview starts, all these questions, and then it's like, the Black women in your movies, do you portray them? It's such negativity, and they're always going through something, and they're always," and just a Black woman. I asked her, I said, "You ever been through something?" She's like, "My life is great. I have a great husband, my kids are great, everything's wonderful." I said, "God bless you, that you can live a perfect life. That's wonderful." Then I turned to her and I asked her, I said, "How old are you?" She said, 25. I said, "Baby, keep living." But I look at these young folks who are living these lives and they think that it's supposed to be the way that it is on Instagram, and they're forgetting about the people who have paved the way for them to be in that situation. They're forgetting about the women like Angie Stone, who's been in the business all of these years. You're gonna forget about what she did, all of the people that she put on and helped. So you gotta go through something to write a song like $20. Because in it she says, "What you know about being poor." She don't say poor, she says poor. What you know about having to borrow from the neighbor next door. These are her words. What you know about bumming rides. What you know about having to swallow your pride. And this is the part of the song that got to me when she said, what do you do when you're through?
Monique is not done with Tyler Perry. So as you know, Tyler Perry was trending last week after his speech at Angie Stone's funeral. Well, according to Monique, she feels like he's a hypocrite.
It is wrong. And I'm tired of seeing us struggle and go through things and work hard and not reap the benefits of what we were supposed to reap. But you got to be careful when you start mistreating people, especially children of God, because the Bible says, touch not my anointed and do my prophet no harm.
So Monique shared that speech, but also shared a recording that she had recorded of Tyler, a phone conversation that they had, where he said that on his next press tour, he would publicly apologize to her. In her caption, she says, open letter to Tyler Perry. We would like to give our heartfelt condolences to Angie Stone's family and friends. Sister Angie, we stand on the shoulders of the elders and ancestors like you, so please know that your fight inspired us to write this letter, and that the fight doesn't end with your passing, as it's only the beginning. Dear Tyler Perry, I recently watched your heartfelt speech at Angie Stone's funeral, where you expressed frustration over her mistreatment by the music industry. It struck me and my husband Sydney as poignant, but also made us reflect on some unsettling discrepancies in your actions towards me. 1, you expressed anger over Angie's mistreatment, yet you labeled me, quote, difficult to work with, despite never having worked with me.
Jagaur Wright's revelations not only expose the financial misdeeds of Universal Music Group, but also suggest that Angie Stone's death might have been a sacrifice, collateral damage in a battle that pitted an artist against a corrupt system. She recalls a conversation with Angie about an upcoming show that was never canceled, despite the looming threats and ominous circumstances. Instead, Angie's determination to perform, even in the face of danger, now appears as a final defiant act. Jagaur's account is both personal and probing. I believe Angie's death wasn't just an accident, she insists, forcing us to reconsider the chain of events that led to that fateful day. It is a narrative that challenges our understanding of fate and justice in an industry where power often silences dissent.
When Drake got the $500 million, everybody's like, Drake got $500 million. I'm like, so when Universal gives him, when they gave him $500 million, I was like, oh, they set him up. He don't even know it, because I know how they gave it to him. I know how it works. When they give you a check, what does a check equal? More work. They gave you a $500 million. So now, remember Drake dropped an album every 2 years? He started dropping the album every 9 months. That's how he burnt himself out.
I probably won't make music for a little bit. I'm gonna be real with you. I need to focus on my health first and foremost.
So remember, he dropped the record with 21 Savage. He dropped it, if you're reading this, it's too late. He dropped all these albums, and then he announced, I'm burnt out. That was because they gave him $500 million and said, we'll give you $500 million, but we need more records. And he's like, cool, not realizing they giving you a loan on money that they gonna make from you any way. So in a lot of ways with him suing him, I'm like, you suing him for the wrong reasons. If I'm being honest, you suing him about Kendrick, you don't even know. Artists do not know how, any artists listen to this, they do not know how much their catalogs work because they keep getting advances for more catalog.
That one of the biggest companies that I was with, Universal Music, it's the second part of the ugly truth. We began to research things to check on my royalties and my statements and things that of that nature, only to find out a lot of my publishing, a lot of my royalties, my mechanicals, they have all pretty much been stolen. As I begin to find out things that I never had to look into, because when you hire a team of people that, to some degree, supposed to have your back, you're thinking that they're getting it all together for you. You know, that's why, you know, I respect Oprah Winfrey in that respect when she said, do your own research. I just stoned the celebrity that I let a lot of important things slip through the cracks only because I didn't know. any better. I worked very hard to take care of my kids as a single mother, and I'm being transparent. My kids' fathers just were not doing what they're supposed to do.
With every new twist in the saga, from Jagaur Wright's daring exposé to the intricate web of betrayal surrounding Angie Stone's untimely death, we're left questioning the true cost of silence in an industry built on power and influence. If you're ready to uncover the next chapter of this jaw-dropping story, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because when it comes to the truth, nothing is as it seems. And trust us, you won't want to miss what comes next.